Welcome back, everyone, to the FloTrack podcast. I'm Kevin. He's Gordon, recapping the first day of action at the Tokyo Olympics. Early morning for us over here in the United States. Well, wherever you are, if you're watching live, tune in the chat. Let us know. Where are you watching from? Gordon, exciting first race to kick off the Olympic action. What do you think of that men's 10,000?
Well, first of all, my journey of trying not to lose $4,500 is off to a good start, or bad start, you could say, because I lost the first bet. I put money on Joshua Cheptegei to win, and he got second. But you know what? I'm okay with it because Cheptegei kind of closed well. Like, he ran a good race, so I'm not like, it's not like what you don't want is someone to fall apart and be like, hey, why did you pick him? He lost by 0.4. Barega just had better position on that final lap. Cheptegei closed well, but Barega was just in better position. And we said it. We said it's going to be Cheptegei versus one of the two Ethiopians, basically Barega or Kajelcha. Kajelcha didn't have it. You saw him fall apart there in the final two laps. The commentators were talking about how so hot it was and it was so sticky and humid, and that was a major factor. But we bring up the results on our screen here. They still ran. They closed well. They went out in 14:10 or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
So they closed quickly. They closed in sub 14, like 13 something. So, hey, Selemon Barega, he's a real deal. He took down the world record holder, and Uganda had a unique strategy where they literally had a man on their team whose job was just to be a pacer. Like, it's kind of crazy. Yeah. They selected a third runner just to be a pacer.
That's what it looked like, because Kissa was way out there. Kissa had been watching some Wesley Kiptoo tape, I think, this year, and got real ambitious. And you thought, okay, well, maybe this isn't for him. Maybe this is for his teammates. But they didn't follow him. Kiplimo, Cheptegei just let him go. And conventional wisdom said that they would have needed a faster pace in order to run the kick out of some of the quicker closers, although they still acquitted themselves pretty nicely with second and third for Uganda. So maybe they're happy with that result. But Barega's close was just too much. Aragawi of Ethiopia fourth, Fisher fifth, Ahmed sixth, Kwamoy seventh, and then Kajelcha, who was the favorite going in. A lot of that had to do with how quickly he ran that 3K in Oslo, but the race seemed to be playing out in his favor with a slower first half. Just did not have it over that last lap and ran 27:52. This was crowded with a lap to go, Gordon. There were 8 guys in it. There was some jostling, there were some elbows, and it was wide open for those medals. Barega's a solid closer, so that ultimately didn't surprise me much there. But I would have thought Cheptegei and Kiplimo would have preferred a faster pace early on and actually went with Kissa before he ultimately dropped out.
Yeah, I think the faster pace dream scenario went out the window when the weather report came in. There just was no once you know the weather situation, we knew it wasn't going to be a 26-minute 10K. There's just no chance.
Now, but should they have told the rabbit that? Should they have told him that before he sacrificed his entire race? Hey, you remember we had plan A and plan B? We're doing B. Don't do A. And instead he did A and put himself out there and then ultimately dropped out.
I mean, the rabbit kind of should be happy. I mean, the rabbit gave Uganda 2 medals. So,
sure.
I mean, in the end, I think as much as Cheptegei probably wanted to win gold, I think they seemed very content to be able to have both of their countrymen be on the podium. Sure, they would rather go 1-2, but they would take a 2-3 any day of the week.
Mm-hmm. And what did you think about Fisher's performance?
Man, Fisher looked super comfortable the entire race. I thought Kincaid would also be there with Fisher, but Kincaid looked like the heat got to him and he fell off. And in the back of the mind, once Kincaid knew he didn't have it, you kind of want to shut it down because you have the 5Ks coming up later on in the week. But Fisher, man, he looked like he belonged. He was in it the entire race, and he closed well. He finished in the top 6. He closed with the best of them. Obviously, he's not at that closing in 53-second world that the Baregas and Ugandans were able to do, but give him another few years of international competition, and I'm pretty confident Fisher is going to be in the mix to potentially be a medaler. Not maybe next year in 2022, but for sure by 2024.
Mm-hmm. He did a good job sticking in, but also making himself anonymous there. Because
Yeah.
Ahmed for a little while looked like he was going to make a bid for home, and ultimately faded. But Fisher did a good job. Didn't do any extra work. Didn't put himself out there until he really needed to, and then closed really well. Almost looked like he was going to run down fourth place. Aragawi looked back, I think 6 times in the last 100 because he was feeling that Fisher close as well too. But when someone goes 50 sub 54 to finish a 10K, it's tough to match that. But Fisher's close was pretty solid too, and to hang with that pace given the conditions is a good result for him. And you look at this field; this is not a weak field, Gordon. You got the world record holder in there. You have someone like Kip Limo, who has just insane range from 3K to half marathon. He's a half marathon world champion. You have Barega, the guy who's won medals before. This is a stacked field, and I think him beating people who he shouldn't have beaten, like Kajelka, and also sticking close to the medalists is just going to give him a incredible level of confidence for the 5K going on later on in the meet.
Yeah, I mean, he outkicked Mohamed, who's a world medalist himself. So, yeah, I think Fisher's set up for some. I think 5th place is something that I'm sure Jerry is like super proud of, and like this is a good stepping stone for his career because he's young. This was his first international competition at the senior level, right? He didn't make worlds in 2019, did he?
Correct. He did not.
Yeah, yeah.
Yep.
So, yeah. What a run, man.
All right.
We
Yeah.
got
Good.
we got
Good first
Emma
race.
Coburn congratulating Grant Fisher, something that you wouldn't see at the trials because they would be competitors, but now all of a sudden they're on the same team, Team USA. It's great. Now it's fun to see the competing brand athletes now all come together as one to represent the country. This is a tweet you would not see unless it was a world championship or a global championship. So pretty cool. See Emma Coburn congratulating Fresh Fish, great Twitter handle, for 5th.
Mm-hmm. Checking on the chat here, we got people telling us where we're watching from. We got someone from Australia, Mauritius, Maine, New Zealand, London, the Bahamas, basically worldwide here. I think our